I am delighted to invite back today Karen Malcolm. Karen is a beauty expert. She's been working in the beauty industry, in the broadcast industry in particular, for a number of years, and she's been working with both local and international talent. We are so delighted to have you bringing your expertise to us today. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here in my own office, in my own space today to talk about all the amazing things, skincare and beauty, and maybe we'll even touch a little bit on wardrobe today.
Oh, see, that would be great. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, why
So
not?
before we get into looking our best for all these online meetings that we've
Mm,
been having, I wanted to go back to a live event that we had about 3 weeks ago, and both
yeah,
sides, we had nothing but technical difficulties.
yeah.
So I wanted to chat with you about maybe just giving us a brief recap. The topic was skincare, whether you're men or women, doesn't matter, really protecting your skin
Absolutely.
and skincare for the summer, and is one of the things you touched on year round.
Yeah.
So I thought we could do a quick recap. What are the top
Ah,
three things that we can do to really make sure we're managing and taking care of our skin?
absolutely. And let me just start by saying, Lorene, that when you are a member of Boom, you have so many incredible options to choose from, incredible lines and brands. So you have a tremendous list that your members can actually choose from for skincare, for makeup, for all those amazing things. Now, when it comes to summer, you and I talked a little bit about, potentially maybe using products that are a little bit more light on the skin. So when it comes to summer, you don't want anything quite as heavy. We also touched a little bit on how important sun protection is. And you'll find sun protection is in some products, and sometimes you'll actually want to use a separate sun protection. I know I spoke on some of the brands that you have with Boom, like Vichy and Kiehl's and Lancome. These are all really great brands that can give you a top to bottom skincare line, and you can really work within the season. So right now being summer, using those lighter products, using the products that are going to give you that really beautiful glow, perhaps getting those products that have the sun protection in them as well. So something to be mindful for summer is just think lighter, think brighter, and think about protecting your skin. And again, you've got so many great brands to choose from.
Perfect. Thank you. And,
Yeah.
as you noted before, year round too. So not just summer, but as we go into what we hope will one day be a sunny summer. It's not
Yeah.
today, but one
Well,
day.
today was supposed to be the hot day. We
I
don't know what's
know.
going on here today. And I also just wanted to talk a little bit too before we move on, just about summer makeup as well. And you have YSL, Shu Uemura, and Biotherm, Lancome. They all have really incredible lines for makeup that are hot makeup and trends that are hot for summer. So you can think about using different colors than maybe you normally would. You can think again using different textures, perhaps using a lighter foundation, or you're using a long wear eye cream on your lid. So even the makeup side of the beauty brand can be a lot different for your summer routine. So again, a lot of your listings and and the companies that you have with Boom, really great for all of your all of your clients.
Thank you. And
You're
on
welcome.
that note too, all those brands, they really are great, but they are a bit of an inspiration too okay, so we have access to all these great products at great prices, but what can we do with them? So having you on
Mhm.
is really a great add-on to that to help us and guide us in our, journey of looking our best.
Yeah, and hopefully helping members to think about what they could do a little bit differently as well. It's sometimes just putting that little seed of thought into somebody's head about what they can do differently, and then perhaps then they're on Boom one day looking at the website, and that seed is now maybe getting some fertilizer, and it starts turning into something a little bit more that they perhaps wouldn't have thought about other
Mhm.
than that. Yeah.
And I'm finding that people really need, I think, just that little lift here and there. Our whole routines have been shifted. And anything that we can do to kind of freshen ourselves up a little bit, feel a little bit better about our day and how we're going into it, I think is a bonus. So
Absolutely. No better time than now.
that's right. And
Yeah.
on that note, now is very different, isn't it? Many companies we're finding are, they're not permitting work travel. They're not allowing their employees to go to have face-to-face meetings. They're really
Yeah.
asking and encouraging their team to stay safe. And one of the ways that they're asking them to stay safe is to conduct meetings not in person, rather over either technology like Zoom or Teams or whatever solution
Mhm.
that they might have access to. And so on that, we've heard lots of funny little stories here and there about things that have gone wrong on those calls. And so we thought we would bring you in to talk to us about how do we how do we look our best
Yeah,
on these online meetings,
sure.
but really aligning with an understanding that just because a meeting is online doesn't mean you don't show up as if you're in person and
Mhm.
engage in the discussion, etc. So I wanted to have you on
And
to talk to
people
us.
should put their pants on too.
Right, they should. Please wear your pants. We can tolerate a lot of distractions like a cat walking across your keyboard or a dog walking through the shot or barking, but
Uh,
wear your pants, please.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
When your pajama bottoms or other things are being seen when you accidentally stand up, that's a problem. But it was happening a lot. I like to think people are learning from
I hope
that.
so. I hope
Yeah.
so. So tell me, what are some things that you would suggest?
Yeah, so let's actually start with wardrobe then, Lorene, because I think that that's something that a lot of people can start being a little bit more mindful about what they can be wearing when they're doing these Zoom calls. And depending on the industry you're in and type of work, perhaps you don't have to wear your suit jacket and you don't have to wear your tie, and you maybe don't have to be quite as I don't want
Buttoned
to say
up.
buttoned up as you would if you were going into the office. But it is something to be mindful. You still want to be professional. You still want to look your best. And maybe this is actually a great opportunity for you to shop your wardrobe and then also potentially do a little bit more shopping for what you might need for these Zoom calls and for other technology meetings. So, one thing that I have talked actually quite a bit about to my stylist friends is pattern. And I wore a pattern today. You're wearing a beautiful, subtle pattern today. Patterns can be a really great way to brighten up your image, give you a little bit more, especially for summer now. It just gives you a little bit more detail, makes it look like you potentially put a little bit more effort into your image as well. But really, it's just something that's really pleasing to the eye, and it looks polished, it looks professional. So, because sometimes with patterns on camera, it's actually not a good thing. But I think for Zoom calls and for online technology, patterns are tending to look quite nice for people.
I was going to
Now,
ask
when
you
it
about that because if it's too
Mhm.
tight of a pattern, it can be a bit distracting, can't it? So you do have to be
it
careful.
You
Yeah.
yes, exactly. You and I being from, a background in TV and in production, we know that it's called moraying. And so if you have a pattern that's too tight, it can look a little bit fuzzy on camera. Now, when it comes to this type of technology, we're not getting that moire look so much. But where I'm going with it is men, if you have a plaid shirt that's a bit of a bigger, a bigger plaid with some color and really nice for summer, we see a lot of pinks and oranges and like some different colors that men like to wear too in the summer months. I know that you have RW and Co as one of your brands, and you go online and you see nothing but color for men and women. So it's a really great option for some of these brands to, you know, um, meet the needs for what men are looking for as well with color and with pattern. It's not just the basic blue and the basic white and grays. So when it comes to wardrobe, for women, dresses are actually great. They're really comfortable. Then again, you don't have to worry if you stand up or if you have to reposition yourself. Men, it's important to make sure that you are putting the proper bottoms on. So again, everybody's industry is different. Some men are able to wear a nice dress short to work. Other men are allowed to wear jeans, and some men, perhaps it's only dress pants. So you all know kind of what range you're working in, but definitely think about what you're wearing top to bottom and think about, is it pressed? Do you look sloppy? Is this something, is your collar, kind of off to the side because maybe you haven't ironed it so it's not sitting properly? So you have to keep in mind people are only getting a caption of you kind of like this. So it's different than you would be getting in a meeting when you're in person. And then again, just, going back, for your members, there are so many incredible brands that you have, with Le Chateau and Banana Republic, Old Navy, really great options to not only go online and get some really great deals through Boom, but also maybe, get your wardrobe going for spring and summer, which is now. And it doesn't mean you have to put it in your closet and not wear it. Now's the time to wear it because people are still seeing you and people are still seeing what you're wearing.
And something we could have mentioned at the top. Even though we're working remotely, and we're so many are, not everybody is, but a good percentage of us, and we're not going into the office setting. Showing up dressed for work really can make a difference in your mental health as well. So I think where we can take all of this is not just saying, okay, great, I'm going to show up for my Zoom meeting looking good, but really overall shifting your mental self a little bit over to the place of, okay, I'm at work now, this is what I'm going to do. And
yes. And I think honestly, that was a big challenge our first 4 to 6 weeks in COVID, because people were struggling to get into that routine if you were one of the people working from home. It's been hard. It's something that we've never gone through before. I was telling, I've been doing a lot of media and a lot of Zoom and a lot of connecting with people. And my thing was, wash your hair, shower, do your makeup. And I'm talking to men and women. If you are used to doing your makeup every single day, get up and do your makeup. If you blow dry your hair, if you like to style your hair, do these things to make yourself feel better. Obviously, if you're not going to be, working every single day, there's going to be days, take a break, and you don't feel like you have to do that. But the impact is real visually. And when it comes to work, this is still professional, it still works. So people need to be mindful of that, to not only translate that visually, but then when you feel good, everything else just works so much better. So absolutely, truly important. And I think more people are starting to do that now because they're realizing we're probably in this for a little bit longer than perhaps what we would have thought at the very beginning.
Some companies are shifting more to this type of a work approach as well, which again will see us in that longer term piece. So
absolutely.
What are some of the mistakes you see people make when they're on these calls, besides not wearing pants?
Well, and the wearing, and the thing is, news broadcasters have done it for years. In the summertime, if you were to actually see what some of the broadcasters are wearing under the desk, the men are wearing flip-flops and like shorts, and women are just wearing a skirt and flip-flops. It's about wearing something that because when you feel good, it's like you get that tie to the top of your head and your entire body just changes and shifts. For hair and makeup, I'm really initially was seeing that people just weren't paying attention, and they weren't doing it. They weren't washing their hair. They weren't, paying attention to the details. But what I think we need to realize is that this is a different way of working. So it's important to look at ourselves. And I know it's really hard to do that. It is really hard to look at ourselves in a picture or on a screen and evaluate what we've done. But you know what, Lorene? That's a really important thing to do when it comes to this type of technology, because then we see how we're translating on camera and perhaps what we can do more of. So for example, right now, your eyes look spectacular. I can tell that you put some eye makeup on. You've used colors that, but you see that you've made that effort and that you have looked at yourself on camera. You've looked at yourself, to think, what can I do best and what do I want to bring out? And so the reason why I just brought up your eyes is because I'm connecting so much through your eyes. And this is how people are still connecting. Even though we're not in person, we're still connecting to people through their eyes. So women, if you are somebody that typically wears eye makeup, make sure you're still doing that every day. That is an important part of your features that's really going to connect with your colleagues while you're online. And I'm going to talk about men. There's some men that are wearing makeup that if that is what their daily routine is, you really want to make sure that you're going to be doing this every single day, because that is what is really going to make you feel good and again connect through your eyes. So this is talking men and women. Also, when it comes to hair is thinking about your hair. You don't want it to be, you know, a wild mess. So, you know, you don't want it to be everywhere and look like you haven't brushed it. Again, this goes for men and women. Men, it just can, you know, take a few minutes to run your fingers through your hair, maybe a little bit of water to smooth it down, little bit of product, get it in place. You would do that if you were going into the office. So it's important to do this now while we're on this form of technology. And women, maybe this is a chance you try a few new things. Maybe you see how it looks putting your hair up.
Yeah.
Maybe you try that new look straight. Maybe now that we can get our hair done again, perhaps this is the time we get a new style. And this is a great way to see how it works. So the key is, Lorene, is making that effort, watching yourself back or watching yourself in your video and making sure that you're looking your very best and polished, because when you look it, you're going to feel it, and then everybody knows it.
And I think one of the keys to that is really, you know, being present as if it were an in-person meeting. And that's not just for how you would, you know, shine your shoes and dress and walk into a meeting, but
Yeah.
also being present. So I wanted to touch a bit on that too, where, you know, we might be in this meeting, we're having a meeting, and then, you know, you'll see me kind of going like this for a little while or checking something over here.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do that in a person-to-person meeting. So when you're on
absolutely.
these online meetings, it's just as important to ensure that your focus remains on the person that you're meeting with. And remember, they can see you. They're going to see you
Yeah.
if you're over here scrolling through your phone or whatever it might be. So being present and really paying attention to and being engaged with the person that you're chatting to.
Absolutely. And connection is a big part. And we need to realize that in this time, that our jobs, we need to be working just as hard, if not harder than what we were before. So that engagement is crucial, because remember, we are going to be going back to our regular lives at some point, whatever that means, going back into the office, or maybe it's not, maybe this will be a new normal. So
Mhm.
you are so right. That engagement and realizing that this is important, this is now in a meeting in person, people aren't going to be flipping through their phone and focusing on different things. And it's hard with elements of home. And I understand that, people with animals and kids and
Right.
a pipe bursting in their basement. I mean, who knows what you're
Yeah.
dealing with? But, you know, maybe that's where you need to sketch out that area of your house, if possible,
If
that you can
possible.
have that quiet. I know it's easier said than done. Again, this has been a big conversation with a lot of people. Some people are in 500-square-foot apartments.
Yeah.
Some people have 3 kids and 4 animals and a spouse at home. So, you know, it's really trying to carve in your space, understand what your professional level needs to be, and then how you bring that. And that's image and energy, because it all translates on camera.
And we all need to as well be as understanding of what the individual on the other side has with respect to a setup. So, you know, the setup, as you say, might be a smaller space. It might be a
Mhm.
space that's shared with other people who are now working from home,
Yeah.
or children that need as well your, you know, your attention for the educational component. So on our side, as we also need to be very aware and understanding of what's happening with the
Yeah.
person that we're meeting with. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
what else would you
But
suggest for, oh, go ahead, sorry.
no. I was just going to say, and that's it. It's understanding, you know, your colleagues.
Mhm.
And so understanding what we're all going through, but then perhaps that's also setting up times that, you know, maybe are going to be better for each other. Because if you have kids that are doing their schoolwork, or you have a spouse that maybe needs to use the office space that you're sharing. So it's thinking about your schedule and being timely as well. But what you were going to ask, what else would I recommend? So when you come into your meetings, the other thing is you need to be prepared, because if you come into a meeting unprepared in a conference room, you're not going back to your desk and back to your office to get things. You want to make sure that you're coming in prepared. You know, you have your pen, you have your notepad, you have the products that you're speaking on, whatever it may be. But it's coming
Mhm.
in knowing that you have not just got yourself ready. So you've decided what you're going to wear that's going to look great on camera that day. You've done your hair, you've done your makeup, you feel good, and now you're coming in prepared for your meeting as well. It all comes down to preparation and understanding that this is work in the same form as it was before. We just need to be perhaps reminding ourselves that this is on the exact same level, and in
Yeah.
many ways almost more important, because unfortunately with the economic backlash, there, you know, maybe job losses. So you want to make sure you're working as hard. Again, but this all comes into it. You don't want to look schleppy. You don't want to act schleppy. You want to be prepared. You want to act professional. You want to look professional. All of those things together is what is going to hopefully help keep a job, maintain a job, and see value in the employee that you are, or the coworker that you are, or even the client that you might be for somebody.
Thank you. You are right, you know. So in closing, do you have any final tips that you'd like to give out to the audience with respect to really showing up at your very best for these online
Yes.
meetings?
Absolutely. And especially for your members, Lorene, there's so many great options to, you know, maybe update your wardrobe. Maybe now is the time that you can go online. Some stores are actually open as well. So if you do want to go and try things on, that is something that you can do, and then come back. And then you obviously you go on through your membership and you can do your orders. But, you know, you're looking at brands, Susie Shear, RW Company, Old Navy, Banana Republic, Pennington's. I don't know if you know anymore, but there's so many great stores that you can even get underpinnings. So what underpinnings are, just like those thin layers that you might wear under cardigans or jackets, because these are pieces that you'll be wearing a lot more working from home, and then they will translate really well again when you do go back into the office. For men, that might be some lighter collared shirts, maybe some short sleeve collared shirts, but something that is, you know, refreshing your wardrobe, making you feel good. And again, Boom has so many great options with, you know, amazing stores that you can go on to get great deals with your membership. But then also second to that is paying attention to your hair and your makeup and your beauty routine. And again, you and I talked about skincare, and again, you've got so many amazing brands with Boom that the members can access. So, you know, have some fun. Maybe now is the time to try some new skincare products, some new face masks, some SPF, some new color for summer with your makeup. So go on there, take a peek and see what deals are there, and really freshen yourself up. This is the time, I always say, this is the time of year people should be having fun and having fun refreshing their image. So go out there and have some fun and feel good, because I think all of us need as much feel good as possible.
You're right about that, Karen. Thank you
Yeah.
so very much. This has been so wonderful. Your insights are always great, either as I never knew that or as a brand new reminder of getting back into doing what we can to be at our best during these times. So thank you for that.
You're
And
welcome.
yes,
And I
Boom
just want to
members,
thank you really quickly. I just want to thank you, Lorene, for providing your members with such wonderful opportunities. So, because this is really a two-way street. So I want to thank you as well, because you provide all of the members so many opportunities, which are really helpful right now. And so I want to take that time before you close to thank you for that.
well, thank you, Karen. That's very nice of you to say. I hope that you, as a member too now, an honorary member, will get the opportunity to shop and save and enjoy. And then just a little encouragement for all members to please log in as often as you'd like, because we are always adding new brands and shifting and putting in new offers. So you can either do that online or through your mobile, either Android or iOS. So make sure you have the app and watch for those updates. We do have more lunchtime learning sessions coming up in the future. We have one that we actually recorded last week that we'll be streaming on how to manage your mental health through a crisis. So watch for that one. That's coming up soon, as well as one on insurance that should be very interesting that we'll be having in July. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram to make sure that you are getting those updates as frequently as possible. Thank you again, Karen, for your time today, and thank you to the Boom audience, and we'll look forward to seeing all of you again very soon. Thank you.